and welcome to another episode of Jack Black. This time, you'll be watching Jack Black and the Toilet Mystery. It was the spring bank holiday at last, and young Jack Black and his dog Silver were staying with Aunt Meg at her quaintly named hangman's cottage in the heart of a sleepy Cotswold village.
Aunt Meg, did they really used to hang bad men in this cottage?
No, Jack, it was just where the hangman lived with his family. The executions took place here, in the garden.
Wow!
All that's hanged in the garden these days is my washing. Oh dear, I've run out of pegs. Be a love, Jack, and pop into the village to buy me one, would you? Here's 5 pence 4 farthings in the old money.
Okay, Aunt Meg. Come on, Silver.
Young Jack and his canine compatriot were soon crossing the village green on their errand.
I'll just nip into the toilet, Silver. After 5 glasses of Aunt Meg's homemade lemonade, I'm bisting for a gypsy's kiss.
Hold on there, young Jack. It was old Tom, the gnarled gravedigger, who had spoken. You don't want to go in there?
Why ever not?
There's been queer goings on in there these past few months.
How do you mean, queer goings on?
Shenanigans, young Jack. Strange, unnatural doings, and beastliness.
Gosh!
Take my advice, Jack. Don't go in there. The puzzled juvenile investigator made his way to Britain's only police station cum peg shop. Hello, young Jack. What'll it be? Pegs or police?
Well, a bit of both, actually, PC Potter.
As he sold Jack a peg, PC Potter listened to what he had to say about what the gravedigger had to say about the toilets. Somebody up to queer business in the toilets on the green, eh? I can't understand it. The last one of them around here was hanged in 1636. I'll certainly look into it for you. Jack hurried back to the cottage with the peg, but when he got there, Aunt Meg's washing was already waving merrily on the line.
Hello, Jack. The Reverend Holloway has kindly lent me one of his pegs.
Surely you mean one of his wife's pegs, Aunt Meg?
Oh no, Jack. You see, I'm not married.
Now run along and wash your hands, Jack. It's nearly tea time.
As I was saying, Mrs. Aunt Meg, the plight of the young street urchins of Anglesey is a most upsetting. I was watching a harrowing documentary on the subject only last evening on Channel 4.
Oh dear me. More tea?
But Jack was not washing his hands just yet. Something about this vicar had aroused his suspicions. That night, Jack and his dog pal made their way to the toilets on the village green. There was investigating to be done, but someone else had the same idea. Psst. It was PC Potter. Don't go in there, Jack. I've set a honey trap. PC Beecham is standing at the urinal with his cock in his hand, winking at men as they go in. He's going to arrest the first one who winks back at him.
Gosh!
Ah!
Suddenly, a startled cry from the conveniences broke the still night air, and PC Beecham staggered out onto the green. What is it, PC Beecham? What happened?
I don't rightly know. I was just standing there when I suddenly felt myself becoming engaged in an act of gross indecency in a public place.
But we've been watching him from the bush. We didn't see anyone go in or come out.
I know, that's the strangest part of all. After I shot my bolt, I turned around and there was no one there. It's almost perplexing.
The three made their way inside the toilets.
There's no other way in or out except this window, and that's far too small for anyone to fit through.
What is it, boy? What have you found?
Jack picked up what his faithful feline friend had found and held them in the beam of PC Potter's torch.
A banana skin, a little fez, some tiny trousers. I just don't understand it.
I think I do. And if you make your way to Reverend Holloway's service tomorrow, everything will be explained.
The next morning, an expectant congregation crammed into the ancient pews of the church.
Good morning, everyone. I'm delighted that a young visitor to our village has asked to read the lesson for this service.
Jack eagerly took the pulpit.
The lesson today is taken from Leviticus chapter 14. And he that lies with the bottom of another man, he shall be unclean in the eyes of the Lord, for he is an abomination. And the Lord spake in a terrible voice, saying, I hath nothing against them personally, but it's not just natural, is it? I mean, continueth the Lord, it's just not right. For they are unclean and vile and filthy in mine eyes, and hanging is too good for them. If you asketh me, it turneth my stomach, it really doth. Many of you, I am sure, will have been shocked to hear about the recent goings-on in the toilets. Well, I am here to name the guilty party, for he is here today, in God's house.
The congregation gasped as Jack made his announcement.
It is the vicar, the Reverend Holloway.
PC Potter sprang into action.
Well done, Jack. But how did you know?
Easy. Whilst having tea at my Aunt Meg's, he made two very simple mistakes. First, he let slip he isn't married, and then he said he watches Channel 4.
Brilliant. So you knew he was one of them? But how did he get up to all the filthy malarkey in the toilets? We never saw him go in or out.
That was the clever bit. He didn't. But anyway, it's time to sing a hymn, isn't it, Reverend Holloway? How about We Plough the Fields and Scatter?
No, not that one.
Yes, Reverend, the only hymn that contains the note middle C, the only note that is never played on this church organ.
Gosh, a little monkey!
Yes, Reverend Holloway perverted this little creature. He trained it and sent it out to enter the men's toilet through the tiny window, there to do his queer bidding by simian proxy.
Shame. Back at Hangman's cottage.
Well done, Jack. Thanks to you, Reverend Holloway is off to an island surrounded by sharks where the RAF can use him for bombing practice.
Yes, and further.
What's going to happen to the monkey? Can I keep it?
I'm afraid not. It's been queered up and there's a chance it could be catching. We're going to have to hang the wretched creature.
Can I be the executioner?
Well, as owner of Hangman's Cottage, that duty really falls to Aunt Meg, Jack.
Oh, go on, Jack. You do it. After all, it was your hard work that solved this mystery.
Thanks, Aunt Meg.
Hooray!
Ha 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 ha!
The end.